Google Slides. So as you've seen with all these different Google apps, with Google Docs and now Google Slides, basically Google's version of Microsoft Office, with Google Docs being its representation of Microsoft Word and now Slides being its representation of PowerPoint. As we know, when you create a slideshow, whether it's with PowerPoint or with Slides, it's a collection of pages containing text and images that is typically presented on a screen. Google Slides offers a lot less features than PowerPoint, a lot less options, but the one really cool thing it can do is it can embed videos into Google Slides via YouTube, right into your presentation, in which I'll show you in this video. So like Docs, you can create from scratch, or you can upload a PowerPoint presentation and change it into a Google Slides format, as I showed you in the Google Docs video. As you can see here for my finance class, I have a lot of PowerPoint saved on my drive. And if I want to, as I showed you with the Docs, here's another PowerPoint that I have. I don't have the options to edit this as I want to, and it tells me here edits will not automatically be saved. If I just go to the File tab and save as Google Slides, what will happen is it will give me, if I start from the beginning, that same PowerPoint converted into Google Slides format, and now I can save and have all the changes that I want to make, all the tools available here for me. So if I wanted to create a Google Slide from the beginning, okay, of course, when I click on New, Google Slides, it takes a second to load, but what you're going to see is going to ask me to select a theme, which is the overall design of all slides. I can choose whichever one Google has, or I can create my own as I work within my presentation. See, it takes a second to load, but now I have all the themes that I can choose from. Okay, I will just start off with the simple light, click OK, and let me get to the second slide here. All right, I just hit enter. And now I have my second slide here. Going back to the slide that I changed from PowerPoint into Google Slides, okay, there are three main parts of a Google Slide presentation. On this left side here, we have what's called the slide navigation panel. I can see and move quickly through all my slides. I can add and delete slides here. So if I right click, I can delete slides. I can add a new slide. I can change the theme of that slide here. I can change transitions. I can change its layout. So a lot of options here in the slide navigation panel, mainly just so I can quickly move up and down my presentation. On here, when I double click, I am in what's called the active slide section. This is where I add and modify content. I have my text, my videos, my pictures, my tables, etc. And here, the third part, or the third section I should say, this is called my speaker notes section. This is where I add notes about key points or details regarding the active slide. So here I have in mind that to make sure to read letter that's on page 11, okay? Because it goes with this slide. So it keeps in mind when I'm presenting to make sure I read this letter and different points that I might not have on my slide, but that I want to make when I'm presenting. So back to the blank Google slide that I have. Of course, I want to change the theme in the toolbar here. I have that option here. I can also change my background here, change the color. I can also, and the cool thing about Google Slides is I can choose a personal background. So any picture that I want, I can make my background, but I'm going to keep it as is for now. Inserting images, it's the same features as the Google Docs video. If I go to the Insert tab and Images, it will give me the same as Docs, where I can insert images from Google Images or Life. But the one thing I wanted to show you with embedding YouTube videos, once in the Insert tab and I select a video, okay, I can either insert a YouTube URL here, or I can search from YouTube right in Google Slides. So say, because we will be covering video games and video game design, if I just selected history of, let's say, Mario, and I hit search, I'm going to get a bunch of videos from YouTube in which I can embed right in my slide. So if I just click and select select, you can see the video right in my presentation. It's already embedded into my slide. And I can change and format the way I want. And when I play, it will play automatically from my presentation. So no need to go to youtube.com or exit my presentation while I am presenting. Let me delete this. With presentations, since they are visuals, good idea to use tables. We're going to do a lot more detail in class, but just to show you where they are, it's in your Insert tab, Tables here, and I can change the rows and columns here. As you can see, once it's inserted, I get a bunch of different options on my toolbar here. Fill color, fill line, line weight, line dash. We'll go over those in class. So we do get a lot of different options depending on what you have selected. Let me get rid of that table. And to get rid of the tables, I'm just clicking and selecting delete. And just like Word, I can also insert shapes. And I'm just going to insert this basic arrow here. And of course, once I have it selected and you have this cross icon, you just click and drag however you want to, big or small, your shape to be. And as you can see, I have a bunch of different options here for shapes, right, which will go in more detail in class. And Google also has a separate app when creating and editing shapes called Google Drawings that we'll also deal with. Lastly, and I'll go to the presentation I have here. Of course, with presentations, big thing is transitions, animations. Right? Depending on what type of presentation you're doing, whether you want to use or not use those, but just to show you where they are. So when we deal with them in class, if I go to Insert, let me select something that is my mistake. So if I wanted to animate this text box here, if I have it selected first, which is what you need to do, and I go to Insert, Animation, and this is the way elements appear and disappear on your slide. I have a bunch of different options here in which if I select play, I can preview how it will come in and come out. And I also have three options. I can also have, and I selected the animation fade in on click, of course, when I click my mouse. After previous, so that means this animation would occur as soon as the last animation leaves, or I can have it with previous, and this will occur with the previous animation, and that will happen at the same time as the element before. So three options that I can have. So those are my animations. And if I wanted to select a transition when I do not have anything selected in the active slide, back in my toolbar I have transitions, and these control how presentations change from one slide to the next. I have 6 options here as my transitions, okay? And with animations, I didn't know before, you can change the speed however you want here. And if you select play, you can see how it works right in this window here, so you don't have to play your entire presentation and then exit out and change it again. I can just click play here and see how it works and make changes if necessary. So those are my animations and my transitions. And the last part, if I want to present, Google gives you an easy location, a present button here. Then if I hit the drop down, it gives me 3 options where I can present from the beginning, present with speaker notes, or I can present in a brand new window that would occur on my screen. Okay. But if you want to present, you would click this icon here. And lastly, if you want to publish, and this will allow the public to view your presentation, and Google assigns your presentation a specific URL in your file tab. If I select publish to the web, okay, I will get a link and how it will auto advance slides, but this allows you to publish your work so anyone with the link can see your presentation. So pretty cool thing if you want to publish this to a wide audience. So this is Google Slides. We'll go more into detail specifically with tables and so on in class.